You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show on OnFire-TV.com, OnFire-TV.com. And, it's a good day, especially if you are with the WNBA, if you are a fan of Brittney Griner. Good day for you. Good day for a lot of folks. So the sports star, the WNBA star, Brittney Griner, released from Russian custody today. There's some controversy about this. Some folks don't seem to understand. Some folks are upset because a Russian arms dealer was released during this trade. Some folks don't understand how the whole thing came about. So Russia freed the WNBA star, Brittney Griner, and it was the climax to this ordeal. There's been a lot of back and forth about this. Some people saying that she deserved what she got. No, I don't think she deserved what she got as far as being, locked up. It's unfortunate. She made choices, right? She made choices. And the prisoner swap, of course, is at a time of heightened tension. Heightened tension right now. Tension over Ukraine. This is a top goal that has been achieved by President Biden. No doubt about that. I'm surprised that he was able to get her home this quick. 10 months, 10 months is a long time, especially if you are in jail. Long time. There is another prisoner that is there. We'll get to him in a minute. But heavy price paid. Heavy price. An American jailed for nearly 4 years in Russia, left behind. Oh, there's been a lot of talk. The WNBA and a lot of folks online, really, they have been putting pressure on the Biden administration to bring Brittney Griner home. Now, it's not like he can just snap his fingers and just make Russia do whatever he wants. It doesn't work that way, as you well know. But she is on her way home to her family. Good. That part is good. Now, the deal, the second such exchange in 8 months with Russia. Second such exchange in 8 months. Now, there is something to that. This did not happen by accident. Griner, of course, is a two-time Olympic gold medalist whose months-long imprisonment on drug charges brought an unprecedented amount of attention to the population of wrongful detainees. Now, when we use the word wrongful detainees, that means that she was imprisoned even though she didn't break a law. Now, we're not talking about an American law. We're talking about a law in Russia. Now, she did break a law in Russia. Just like folks that are in prison here broke laws here. Viktor Bout is in jail, or was in jail. And he's the Russian arms dealer, the one that they call the merchant of death. Now, he denies that he is an arms dealer. He denies it. Brittney Griner thinks that she was imprisoned unfairly, wrongfully. Viktor Bout thinks he was imprisoned wrongfully. And I think that is so unfortunate when America judges other countries and just say, oh, that's a wrongful imprisonment. Now, when we detain people, that's a righteous imprisonment. But when other countries do it, oh, that's wrong, right? You break laws in different countries, then you broke the law. People break our laws, they're detained. We don't say that that's wrongful, even though there are instances where people are wrongfully in prison. But when we're talking about on a global scale, when we try to judge other countries, we don't want other countries judging us. Other countries judge us on our racism that we haven't gotten in order. They judge us on a whole bunch of things, but we don't like that. We don't like when other countries and other citizens judge us, but we are so quick to judge because we don't agree, because we don't like it. We don't like the outcome. So we judge it. Now, did we want her to be in prison? No. But that's what it was. That's what it was. So Biden authorized the release of the Russian felon once nicknamed the Merchant of Death. Underscored the escalating pressure that his administration was under to get her home. Now, this particularly escalated after the recent resolution of her criminal case and her transfer to a penal colony. That's the real deal, a penal colony. They were trying to put pressure on the United States, put pressure on Biden to get Viktor Bout out. They've been negotiating behind the scenes. And you often hear folks say, or you've heard politicians say, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And let's not act like she was just grabbed up off the street. She admitted to having the hashish oil. She admitted to it. It's not her first time in that country. I'm sure she's probably not going back, but that was not her first time in the country. And it just so happened that her arrest coincided with the escalation in Ukraine. They wanted a high-profile person. She'd been traveling back and forth. It wasn't the first time that she brought that hashish oil, but it was the first time that she brought it over when we were having heightened tension because of Ukraine. The timing could not have been more perfect. Biden was in a tough position. But there was optimism in the last few weeks. But negotiations for months had been strained. They thought that there was going to be a 2-for-1 deal. They thought that Paul Whelan, the ex-Marine, a Michigan corporate secretary executive who's been jailed in Russia since 2018 on espionage charges, spy charges. Now, whether we want, he said that he didn't do it, right? He said that he's not a spy. What spy that's convicted is going to say, oh, yeah, I'm a spy. You got me. No, they're not going to do that. The so-called Merchant of Death doesn't admit that he's an arms dealer. People lie. And if he is a spy, if Paul Whelan is a spy, he's, you've seen the movies. America's going to deny it. He's got to hold, steadfast. So he's been there since 2018. They say that his charges are baseless. Okay, what was he doing there? Looking at his background, I don't know. It's very interesting. The time when he was arrested in 2018 is when Trump was president. Trump and Putin supposed to be homies. But you have this guy arrested on espionage charges. Of course, Biden says that we have not forgotten about Paul Whelan. We will keep negotiating in good faith for Paul's release. But this guy who's there on espionage charges has been there almost 4 years, and celebrity Brittney Griner, who's been there 10 months, and Viktor Bout, Russia said that is not the trade that we're going to make. Russia said that the only trade that we are going to entertain is Brittney Griner for Viktor Bout. That was it. So it was either Viktor Bout for Brittney Griner or nothing. So folks are acting like, how could he trade this basketball player for this arms dealer? He didn't have a choice. Would you have rather him done nothing? Arms dealer's been in custody for 15 years. The Biden administration made the right decision to bring Brittney Griner home. And to make that deal possible, rather than waiting for one that wasn't going to happen, they had to do it. Her hands were tied. In releasing Bout, the U.S. freed a former Soviet Army lieutenant colonel whom the Justice Department once described as the world's most prolific arms dealer. Bout, whose exploits inspired a Hollywood movie, was serving a 25-year sentence on charges that he conspired to sell tens of millions of dollars in weapons that the U.S. said were to be used against Americans. He, of course, denies this. But that's what it is. That's what it is. The Biden administration was ultimately willing to exchange Bout if it meant Griner's freedom. That was the right decision to make. Here we see Griner on the plane home. She's happy to be on her way home, I'm sure. Her arrest in February made her the most high-profile American jailed abroad. Her status as an openly gay Black woman locked up in a country where authorities have been very hostile to the LGBTQ community, infused racial, gender, and social dynamics into this legal saga. It was definitely of international importance. So there was it was a lot of pressure. The exchange was carried out despite the deteriorating relations between America and Russia. The imprisonment of Americans produced a rare diplomatic opening. There was a high-level contact between Washington and Moscow. Phone call between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. It's an extraordinary move. It was the right move. It was the right move. We talked about this many times. Americans, women are so quick. Oh, you traveling stateside. I want to go out of the country. Women always talking that big willy stuff. I want a guy to take me out of the country. Got to be careful where you go. And you got to be careful what you do when you're there. You just trying to be out on some fly stuff. Get yourself locked up in a country that you don't really want that drama. Got to be careful. Got to be careful where you go when you go abroad. So I'm glad that the Biden administration got this together. I'm glad that she is home. I know her family is happy. Of course, Paul Whelan's family, frustrated, ready for their loved one to come home. He's been gone for quite some time. But, it is, I'll say this. he didn't have a choice, but Biden's decision to make this Brittney Griner deal does pose some political risk. Dramatic news today. She's on her way home. Her release will be welcome news to millions of Americans. The White House celebrated it today. But as I said, there are complications to consider. Griner is free because the U.S. has agreed to release Viktor Bout, a notorious arms dealer. The morale complexities of this episode raise some real dangers for Biden. There could be some major pitfalls ahead going into election season. Now, of course, she's a center for the Phoenix Mercury. Arrested back in February 17th to be exact. She pled guilty. Last month, she was sent to a penal colony. Things were looking very, very bleak. Very bleak. So you have Paul Whelan, former Marine, held on espionage charges, still there. And as I said, it is it's complicated. Many people think that the Russians got the better deal. Griner's case, she was famous, but her offense was very minor. Small amount of drugs. The same cannot be said for Viktor Bout. Not at all. He was ultimately extradited in 2010, convicted on conspiracy charges in 2011, and in early 2012, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Putin's allies are claiming a win. The deal leaves Paul Whelan behind. Talked about that. Partisan attacks have already begun. The Republicans are already zooming in on this. The deal to release Brittney Griner is being viewed through the same partisan lens as everything else is in this country. Republicans are wasting no time dogging out this deal. And they're going to hang this over. They're going to hang this over his head for a long time. I do want folks to pay attention to this. This country has come a long way. Still got a long way to go, but this country has come a long way. Brittney Griner, a black, gay, female athlete, celebrity, has been released, while Paul Whelan, a white man who served in the Marines, has not. America got the black girl out, left the white guy. If this had been the other way around, we would be telling a different story. So I do want to acknowledge that. We've come a long way as a country, but we've got a long way to go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, of course. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. This weekend it goes down. The Sagittarius Takeover 2, Saturday, December the 10th, featuring Dougie Fresh. Large birthday celebration at the Patapsco Arena, 3301 Annapolis Road. Cash bar, light buffet. Big birthday celebration for DJ Terry T, Vicky Vic, DJ Booby. Tickets still available. Terry T Productions, 443-953-1966. Vicky V, 202-674-3273. Marshall's Music on Pratt Street, M&K Warehouse and Security Mall. Get those tickets for the Sagittarius Takeover Part 2. Also, the ladies' night out. It's a confections, cosmetics, and cocktails. Goes down to the Capitol Lounge. You get tickets right now for that. It's Friday, December the 16th, 6 p.m. A lot of fun geared towards the ladies. Also, the Grown and Sexy Valentine's Day Gala goes down Friday, February the 10th, 9 p.m. The Cellar 2 at Parkville, 7631 Harford Road in Parkville. Tickets can be purchased right now. Cash App, Eventbrite. It's going to be a DJ, cash bar, on-site photography, dinner. Dress code is formal. $75 for a couple, $50 for singles. It is the Grown and Sexy Valentine's Day Gala. For more information, contact 443-453-8584. 443-453-8584. A lot of things coming up. Jay Goody 77, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Says that she loves the show. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to be back here tomorrow. And, I'll be back here at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Also, the Baltimore Lean Show will be on at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So a lot of things going on. And, definitely more things to talk about. You want to get in touch with me? Very easy to do that. djdiamondk@gmail.com. djdiamondk@gmail.com. Of course, check out City View Bar and Grill, 6700 Security Boulevard, Gwynn Oak, Maryland. cityviewmd.com, cityviewmd.com. You miss any episodes of the show, onfire-tv.com/Diamond K. Anywhere you get your podcast, just search The Diamond K Show. Check us out on YouTube. Search The Diamond K Show or DJ Diamond K. And to check out live or on-demand episodes of any of our programs, not just The Diamond K Show, but all the other shows that we produce, onfire-tv.com/watch. All right, so I'll be back here tomorrow. And before then, you can check me out on social media at The Diamond K Show. See you guys tomorrow.
For food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American-owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
It's the Diamond K Show.
So much going on in the world. You talk about things from the perspective of how it is. DJ Diamond K, sometimes it comes off like you are almost not in support of, but you just accept the way things are and there's no chance of change. Check me out on YouTube. That's the part that I am just like,
ONFIRE-TV.com.
The defense wanted to call a forensic accountant. And this accountant is supposed to testify that Mosby's net worth declined by at least 30% in the spring of 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, and the prosecution hates that. See, because here's my thing. Every business was affected by COVID, unless your business was to spread COVID. So the prosecution's like, oh, no, she's going to actually prove her case. We don't want this to happen. We don't want any testimony from this witness. So they didn't want the testimony. Of course, this at the core is her defense. Mosby had a travel-related business. The travel industry was impacted severely by COVID.
It's the Diamond K Show here at OnFIRE-TV.com.